I've been on the ground, witnessing firsthand the impact of these ICE raids. What's unfolding across America is nothing short of a seismic shift in immigration enforcement. Tonight, we're diving deep into the realities of what many of you voted for, a crackdown on immigration that's reshaping communities and lives. We'll explore the raids, the policies behind them, and, the ripple effects that are being felt from coast to coast. Let's start with the numbers, because they're, well, staggering. Since January 2025, ICE has conducted a series of raids that have resulted in over 50,000 arrests. We're talking about operations that span across major cities like Chicago, Los Angeles, and New York, but also reaching into smaller communities that have never seen this level of enforcement before. On a single day in late January, ICE officers arrested more than 1,000 individuals in coordinated raids across 7 states. The scale of these operations is unprecedented, with entire neighborhoods effectively shut down as agents move door to door. It's a situation that's frankly hard to comprehend. Now, you might be thinking these raids are targeting hardened criminals or recent border crossers, but that's not the whole story. Our investigation has found that a significant number of those arrested have no criminal record beyond their immigration status. We're seeing long-time residents, even some with pending asylum claims, being swept up in these operations. The tactics being employed are aggressive. ICE agents, often working under the direction of Tom Homan, the newly appointed border czar, are using what they call collateral arrests. This means if they enter a home looking for one person, they're detaining anyone they find who can't immediately prove their legal status. It's a practice that's spreading fear through entire communities and, raising serious questions about due process. Behind these raids is a slate of new policies. Since taking office, the administration has issued 21 executive orders aimed at overhauling the immigration system. These orders have expanded ICE's authority, increased funding for enforcement, and made it easier to deport individuals without a hearing. One of the most controversial changes has been the reinstatement of the Remain in Mexico policy. This requires asylum seekers to wait in Mexico while their cases are processed. We've seen tent cities spring up along the border, with thousands of people living in limbo, often in dangerous conditions. It's a policy that's been criticized by human rights organizations as inhumane and potentially illegal. The impact of these policies is reshaping our nation's approach to immigration, raising profound questions about our values and the very nature of American identity. Another significant change has been the reversal of the sensitive locations policy. Now, we're seeing agents enter these locations, leading to scenes of parents being arrested while dropping off their children at school. The administration isn't just targeting immigrants. There's a new Justice Department memo directing the investigation of local officials who resist federal immigration laws. Mayors and police chiefs who've declared their cities as sanctuaries are now finding themselves in the crosshairs of federal prosecutors. The militarization of immigration enforcement has taken a new turn with the deployment of 1,500 additional troops to the southern border. These aren't just support personnel. They're actively assisting in detentions and deportations. There are even plans for military airlifts to expedite the removal of detainees. This level of military involvement in domestic law enforcement is raising serious constitutional questions. Legal experts we've spoken to are concerned about the blurring of lines between military and civilian roles and the potential for abuse of power. It's a situation that's frankly unprecedented in modern American history. The human cost of these raids is clear, but there's also a significant economic impact. In Chicago's Little Village, a predominantly Latino neighborhood, businesses are reporting a 50% drop in revenue. People are afraid to leave their homes, leading to ghost town-like scenes in once bustling commercial areas. The fear isn't just affecting undocumented immigrants. We're seeing increased anxiety and absenteeism in schools, with some districts reporting that up to 20% of students are missing classes on any given day. Mental health professionals are warning of long-term trauma, especially for children who've witnessed their parents being arrested. As you might expect, these raids and policy changes aren't going unchallenged. Advocacy groups are filing lawsuits against the administration and ICE, arguing that these actions violate due process and human rights.
We will not stand idly by while our communities are torn apart.
The legal battles are just beginning, and they promise to be long and complex. The impact of these policies extends beyond U.S. borders. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum has strongly condemned the U.S. approach. Other Central American countries are bracing for an influx of returnees, many of whom left years ago. As we wrap up tonight, it's clear that this issue is far from settled. A public hearing on sanctuary city policies is scheduled for February 11th. Meanwhile, there are rumors of even more restrictive policies in the pipeline, including potential changes to birthright citizenship. As we've seen tonight, the consequences of these immigration policies are far-reaching and profound. They're reshaping communities, families, and the very fabric of American society. As journalists, our job is to show you the reality on the ground, the human stories behind the statistics. Because in the end, this is what many of you voted for. The question now is this the America you envisioned?